Hey everyone, it's Allison Morris with Full Potential Parenting. I thought it might be interesting to take you inside the membership community so that you can get a better look at what's going on here. So this is the main page that you'd come to once you log in. And then we have all these wonderful sections for you. So we've got tapping support, self-care, recordings from the Full Potential Parenting Show, and then here are all our interview collections. So we have the Healing Collection, Parenting Collection, Therapies and Interventions Collection, and then down here are bonuses from last year's summit. So if we start with tapping support here, we've got just a whole lot of videos included in this. Let me get you to that. There's a whole bunch of videos in here that can support you, and most of them are quite short, 8-10 minutes perhaps, on all sorts of interesting topics, right? So fear of the future, needing to be in control, our inability to forgive ourselves, and this collection will continue to expand every other week, right? There'll be a new tapping video added to this, and you'll be invited to join that live, and then it'll end up being part of this collection as well. In the self-care area of the membership, we have two online classes for you. We've got some exercise classes, and then we have a yoga class, and then we've also actually put in here some of the interviews that are self-care related. So let's just click on that. So these are just a few of the interviews that are specifically relevant to self-care: nourishing yourself, compassion fatigue, one on hiding from the hazards of emotions. That's actually about EFT. So that's what's in that section. Here, under the Full Potential Parenting Show tab, we have episodes of the show that you might have caught the first time through, but if not, here you have continuing or permanent access to them. So Claire Wilson, we talked about the importance of being grounded. Candace Cook, spoke with her parent whose child was misdiagnosed with all sorts of things and talked about the different things that she tried to get her kiddo back on track. Patricia Young was a really fascinating discussion about highly sensitive persons, and especially what we can do if we believe that we or our children are HSPs. This episode with Dr. Lucy Johnstone was all about kind of the problem associated with the diagnostic system and giving everybody a disorder when, in fact, what most people seem to be going through are perfectly normal responses to trauma. Anyway, so these are all available to you as well. So let's check out the Healing Collection. This has got so many awesome interviews in here. We've got Donna Jackson Nakazawa's interview on adverse childhood experiences, a really beautiful interview with Panache Desai, who's a really interesting, energetic, spiritual teacher. Dr. Martha Herbert is really well known in the autism community for her work bringing a really holistic approach to autism and not thinking of it completely as just sort of a broken brain. I've got a couple interviews with her actually. Dr. Bruce Lipton is here talking about the role of perceptions and beliefs in healing, how our mindset and our thoughts affect our reality. That was a fascinating interview. We have an interview on holistic dentistry, holistic approach to wellness, so many awesome interviews. really great interview with Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. Many of you are probably familiar with his work, and with Dr. Gabor Mate. Really beautiful interview there. And this one on genetic testing and epigenetics is from just last spring. Dr. Ken Pelletier, really lovely guy, who's one of the best known authorities on epigenetics in the US. Anyway, this just kind of keeps on going. There are just so many awesome interviews that are part of this collection. So you can spend some time through here just looking to see what's available and see what speaks to you. If we go back up here, let's check out what's in the parenting collection. Again, this is just chock full of so much great information. We've got interviews with, Mona Delahooke, whose book, Beyond Behaviors, is one of the best books out there right now for parents of kids with challenging behaviors. This interview with Mindy Goodwin was a really lovely interview about, finding residential treatment programs and therapeutic schools and things like that. Heather Nardi is a parent who shared a really personal story of her journey with her daughter. Many of you know Helene Timpone. I've interviewed Helene a couple times. She always brings wonderful insights. Gosh, so many great things in here. Dan Siegel, Steve Terrell, Vanessa Lapointe, all of these folks, have books and thriving practices working with parents and with children just like ours. So many great interviews in here. Many of you may know Naomi Aldort. Jeanette Yaffe is a really accomplished therapist out in California. Patty Whipfler, you may be familiar with her work at Hand in Hand Parenting. Brian Post, obviously, who wrote with Heather Forbes, Beyond Consequences, Logic and Control, one of the really most important books in my life. So many great interviews here. So I hope, again, that, and this one actually goes on to another page because there are just too many to fit on one page here. So you can see there's just an awful lot of things available here. Laura Markham, who with AHA Parenting, you might know her work, also has great insights. Bonnie Harris, I interviewed her a couple times several years ago. Awesome insights and really, really helpful tips and tools. And then finally, the Therapies and Interventions collection, which is the largest. I think there are 60 interviews included in this collection of interviews. So much great information here. So if you are wondering, for instance, about how to find, you're wanting to know about craniosacral therapy, or you want to learn more about retained reflexes. If you want to learn more about energy medicine practices, heart coherence, flower essences, nutrition. I've got several in here on EFT tapping, emotion code, essential oils. Steve has done a couple interviews for me on some specific healing work that he does that is sort of somatic and cognitive as well. The Anat Banyel method, Ho'oponopono, homeopathy, right? So many great things, chiropractic, homeoprophylaxis, so many different things included in this, neurological reorganization, nutritional issues. So pretty much anything that might be going on with your kiddo, we have interviews that can address it. So you can scroll through, you can find so much great information in here. I understand that it might feel perhaps a little overwhelming. And I want to just reassure you that, this is not something that you're going to spend, a week and just listen to all of these interviews all at one time. going to keep scrolling here, just can get a sense of all the different interviews included in this. You know, as things come up for you and you've got issues you want to address, this, you know, there's just all sorts of different options here for making use of this. So you can search for specific therapies. You can just scroll through and see which ones make the most sense for you. I have, you know, been in this space for many, many years. So I ask questions that are very relevant to our community. So these are not general interviews. These are really specific about how these specific therapies or a particular parenting approach can be very helpful for the kinds of issues that we are facing. So aggression, controlling behaviors, how we as parents can feel powerless or helpless. What are the effects of these different therapies on the nervous system? How much compliance do you need? What if you can't get your kid to go along with something? How long does it take? Do the effects, are they permanent, or do you have to keep coming back in order for them to keep working, right? So all the questions, frankly, that I hope that you would want to know are the questions that I ask our guests about the therapies that they're advocating for, or that, you know, that they're presenting on. So I hope this gives you a little bit better idea of what is included in this membership. In addition to this, of course, there's also a Facebook group that's a private group that you'll be invited to join, where we can share ideas and vent a little and provide support to one another. And that, I think, is a really important component of this, because you know, we need each other. This is not easy, and it's easy to feel isolated and alone and like you're the only one going through or facing what it is you're facing, and it's just not true. And there is no judgment, there is no shame in sharing whatever you've got to share. Or confessing whatever it is you might need to confess. I can pretty much guarantee you that whatever you've gone through, somebody else has as well. So I wanted to just, again, give you this brief overview of what it looks like here inside the membership community. And I hope you'll share any questions that you may have with me, and I'll be happy to address them. And I hope to see you inside the community. I really think this is such a valuable resource, and I don't know really anywhere else where you can get so much great information all in one place. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll sign off for now. If I can figure out how to turn this off.